Welcome to Skin Deep here on HUR Voices, Sirius XM Channel 141. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Sharrarne Morton, and I have my guest co-host and kindness coach, Sunny Waterhouse, in the studio today. Hi, Sunny.
Hey, Sharrarne. Great to be here.
And we're going to go deep on today's show with raw food and juice bar owner, Khepra anew. He's devoted his entire life to sharing his knowledge of the power that the raw food lifestyle has on the body and mind. And unfortunately, a lot of people shy away from the raw food lifestyle because they think it means that they can only eat salads. But Khepra is here today to dispel that myth. So we'll be right back after these messages talking to raw foodist and juice bar owner, Khepra anew, here on Skin Deep. And welcome back to Skin Deep. I'm Sharrarne Morton. As I said in the intro, we have Sunny Waterhouse. She's our kindness coach. And by the way, she is a vegetarian as well. And we are here with Khepra anew. He is the owner of a raw food and juice bar. And he's going to try to talk everybody that's listening into or turn into a what? A raw food lifestylist. Mm-hmm. Is that a such word? Raw food lifestylist. Did I just make that up?
Whatever works.
Whatever works. That's right, Khepra. And Khepra brought some food in, and I have to admit that before we started taping, I gobbled a bunch of it down, and just, it was so delicious. It was like heaven. Mm-hmm. Khepra, welcome to Skin Deep.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we are excited about talking to you, Sunny and I, because both of us are vegetarians. Mm-hmm. We are not strictly raw foodists. At least I'm not. What about you, Sunny? Are you strictly raw?
I have dabbled in raw. Sometimes it just gives me a little bit of gas. So,
okay, too much information, Sunny. Okay.
But I love it though. I do love great raw food, but it's hard to find.
Well, do you think it is? Tell us about your juice bar first, your raw food and juice bar restaurant, and what got you into this lifestyle, Khepra?
Okay, well, the juice bar came about because I was committed to the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So almost 20 years ago now.
You've been committed for 20 years.
20 years.
Okay,
It's been a beautiful journey. I committed to the lifestyle, and once I began to, because I started out with doing a lot of fast, I didn't really know what I was doing first, so I just kind of went, and it was foolish in a sense because I didn't know anyone doing it. I just said, this is what I need to do.
Okay, but I want to know, did you do what most people do, which is go from a vegetarian to a vegan to a raw foodist? Did you do it in stages like that, or you just jumped full steam ahead?
I jumped right in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I had been practicing vegetarianism off and on for probably about 10 years before that.
Okay.
But it wasn't like most people where they become vegan, and like I didn't really spend a whole lot of time eating a lot of vegan food. Vegan food.
So, like Sunny and I, we're vegetarians. Mm-hmm. Sunny, are you vegan or?
When I was in California, I was, which I just returned from, I spent a lot of time being vegan because there were more vegan options. There were more vegan restaurants. There were more people in my circle that were vegan. So it was a lot easier. Once I returned back to the East Coast, it's something that I have to do a more research on, I have to find my tribe more. But I'm very interested in being a person that eats more vegan food.
Yeah. I think it's easier now more than ever before to find vegan food, good raw food restaurants. I mean, it's, there are more and more people that are choosing to live a healthier lifestyle, which is a good thing. Don't you think, Khepra?
Oh, thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. That's just evidenced by almost every major city has a veg festival.
Yeah.
And there are thousands of people showing up in small cities even. So it's letting me know just by that alone, without even really doing any hardcore research, that people are really, and again, also evidenced by the amount of choices and options, and
Yeah.
and then, also mass media. You're seeing more documentaries. You're seeing, I mean, you see it more in pop culture, celebrities.
Yeah.
So you're just seeing this wave.
And that's a good thing.
That's a
But
great thing.
you were doing it, you started doing it before all of that. And so was it a challenge for you? I mean, what prompted you?
It was a
to-
huge challenge. It was a huge.
At least you're being honest.
It
because
was
is
a
for
huge
some
challenge
people.
because it's relatively easy to become vegan, vegetarian. But to do raw,
Yeah.
that's really, I mean, you're really, because the thing is, like, it's just like going on a fast.
Right.
When you go on a fast, it's very, very challenging.
Yes, it is.
And going raw is really a few clicks away from that.
It really is. I tried to go raw a couple of times. I lasted maybe 2 days because I need some warmth in my mouth.
That's the power of cooked food.
Right. And so that's why I can't do raw,
The power
Khepra.
of cooked food, and because the thing is like when we heat food to a certain temperature, you change the chemical structure, and scientifically that labels that as a drug.
What?
So yeah, so when people are eating mostly drugs, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you stop doing that, you're gonna get withdrawal.
Okay, wait a minute. Sonny, back me up here. Are you saying if I love baked apples, I'll take an apple, I will slice it up, I'll put it in the pan with a little bit of water and some cinnamon and tear it up. Are you telling me I'm now a drug addict because of that, Khepra? No. Say it ain't so.
Okay. All right. First, the drug addict. That's again, in our society. Usually, what that means is hardcore, either recreational or illegal substances.
Right.
The fact that just looking at pure science and looking at it from, we take all the social layers off, because we look at apples, we say, oh, apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Right. That's how we were raised to believe that.
So the thing is like, that's what makes cooked food the #1 drug on the street, because it's so socially
acceptable.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's also good.
It is good.
Come
And some
on.
of us don't want to have cold foods in our mouth.
Mm-hmm.
We would prefer at least to have it room temperature. So are you saying that steamed food is wrong? Is not as healthy. I'm not going to use the word wrong. There's not necessarily wrong or right, but just not as healthy as eating it cold.
I love my food room temperature. I'm in total alignment with that.
Okay. So you can be a raw foodist as long as you don't heat up the food. You can just eat raw. It has to be room temperature or cold, and you're considered a raw foodist. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so if I don't cook my vegetables, how am I supposed to eat my vegetables, though? Khepra, you help me.
Well, as you know, definitely with vegetables, they're going to be a little tougher to chew.
Yes, but and that's fine.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah,
because now your jaw, your saliva, all of that has to work a little harder. But the benefit is now you have a food that now has enzymes, it has moisture, it hasn't been compromised with the heat. So the thing is like, I say that cooking is really a ripening process, which is why if you let's say you eat different animal products, because and you almost always have to cook those, because in their raw quote unquote state, they are either very difficult to chew,
that's
and
true,
even more difficult to digest.
That is
so
true.
Now the cooking is really ripening it. It's just like a fruit on a tree. When it's not ripe, it's almost impossible to eat.
But the sun ripens it.
Right, the sun ripens it. The time, the elements nature ripens it.
Okay.
With time. So and as you mentioned, the sun. So anything we have to provide additional heat to is going to compromise it. And the thing is even things that are plant-based that you have to cook, I ask the question, okay, is that ideal to eat? Like, for example, beans.
Yeah.
Most beans you have to cook.
Yes.
So you have to take water and heat it and with the bean so basically you're using fire
To soften it, to make it
force the
digestible.
water into the bean.
Okay, and are you saying that's a bad thing? You are saying that.
Well, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm not saying it's good either.
Okay, all right.
Because it's just less than ideal.
Okay.
And which is why beans, again, most people eat beans and it is very gaseous.
Yes, as Sonia reminded us.
Because
Yes.
again, it has a lot of protein and it also has starch. So the thing is with starch and protein together in that combination, the body has a difficult time processing those two elements simultaneously, so it ends up fermenting and then producing gas.
Okay.
So less than ideal food.
Less
Absolutely.
than ideal.
Mm-hmm.
So we only have 2 minutes left of this segment. So Khepra, what I want to do is let you tell our audience, our listeners, how they can find you, because you're on social media. You're a big deal on YouTube, by the way, and you have a book in front of us that you want to tell everybody about. So how can they find you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you mentioned YouTube. YouTube is youtube.com/Khepra. There's a lot of videos on there.
Khepra, Khepra.
Yes, Pra.
Okay.
My website, the easy one is chefkhepra.com. That points to the restaurant.
Okay.
And my book here, actually, this is a gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's my book.
Oh, okay, you signed it.
Yes, Paradise Health. And you can also, purchase that on my website. And then, I'm on Twitter. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yes, in your book, A Feasting and Fasting Guide to Optimal Health Through Detoxification. Thank you for the book, and thank you for listening. We will be right back after these messages here on Skin Deep. And welcome back to Skin Deep here on Sirius XM, Channel 141, HUR Voices. As you heard earlier, we were talking to raw foodist and juice bar owner, Khepra Anu. He is here dispelling the myth that eating raw does not mean that you have to only eat salads. And so on this segment of the show, we have one of Khepra's customers, Charles. And Charles, you are a raw foodist as well.
Not quite a raw foodist. I'm a vegan
who
eats raw food.
Okay, a vegan who eats raw food, yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm a little bit confused because there are so many layers to this thing, so many categories. What's the difference, Khepra and Charles, between a raw foodist and a vegan who eats raw food? And am I a vegetarian who eats raw food? Because I'm a vegetarian, and I'm about to tear that raw food up that you just brought into the studio after the show, Khepra.
Mm-hmm. Well, for those of us that eat only raw food, I mean, I would like to say, regardless of anyone's diet, probably everyone eats some raw food.
Right, I agree.
So everyone, I guess you can say, is a raw foodist. It's just like if you make the decision to only eat raw food. So yeah, you're right. A good point in terms of like the layers and
the categories.
The categories.
It's confusing. And
even amongst the raw foodists.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, well then I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, there are so many layers. But, having a restaurant and really, my mission, just part of my objective and my mission to share this lifestyle, just like you would go, let's say, eat Ethiopian food, or you go eat Italian food or some other ethnic cuisine. The raw food is, again, just food. At the end of the day, it's food.
That's true, but what do you say to, or what advice do you give to people who are looking to eat healthier, but they're not ready to go to the raw food level? I mean, what would you say too, Charles?
Basically, what I say is typically you have to have a good reason why you do most anything. When you know of people who are actually sick or not doing well and they've been to the doctor and the doctors have sort of given them up, you have to look at another option. I heard someone once say, let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food.
Yes.
And that's difficult to do if your food is watered down. You had mentioned in your last segment the fire that hits the food, it kind of ripens it, so to speak. And when we eat things like, for instance, greens, kale, collards, oftentimes we find that most of the nutrients are left in the water as we take the weakened kale or collards out. So to me, or for my benefit, I'm looking for medicine.
Okay.
And things that are going to help my body.
And speaking of medicine, Khepra, what are some of the benefits of juice cleansing? Because you have a raw food and juice bar. So what are the benefits of juice cleansing? And what are those, what kinds of juices do you promote the most?
Well, people that really know me, they know my relationship with what I call the number one food on the planet, and that's a coconut. So that even for me really changed my life.
The coconut.
The coconut.
Okay.
Once I started drinking, because that's actually for more than 10 years, it's the only water I've drank.
Coconut water.
It's the only one that I drink.
Okay,
yes.
so tell us the benefits of drinking coconut water and using coconuts
Wow,
in your...
what aren't the benefits?
Two or three that promote healing and cleansing.
Probably the most significant benefit is the potassium.
Okay.
Potassium is a mineral that most people are deficient in, and deficient in a lot of minerals, but definitely potassium, because what's the number one killer? Heart disease. And potassium is an antidote
to heart disease.
So
okay.
So the thing is like people are very much potassium deficient. And you know, in the Caribbean they say coconut water wash your heart. You know, that's just some ancient knowledge that people just kind of, because again, you're around it, you're in nature, so it's like, you know, you don't need a scientific journal to validate the ancient wisdom of being in touch with this.
Yeah.
So the coconut water, but science is catching up.
Yeah.
It's catching
Finally.
up.
It's slow, but it's getting there. And Charles, you know, you said at the beginning of the show that you, at the beginning of the segment, that you are a vegan who eats raw. So that means you don't eat meat, you don't eat fish.
I don't eat fish.
You eat plant-based, and sometimes it's cooked and sometimes it's raw. Is that right?
Basically.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm good. Okay. All right. So I'm almost there.
Okay.
I gotta give up the halibut and the salmon. I don't eat it often because I'm scared it's not wild caught like they say it is. But once I stop eating the fish, I'm going to be in your category, right?
Yes.
A vegan who sometimes eats raw.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So I'm getting it right, Khepra. Do I get an A? So a B? A B? So Khepra, tell us. I think you won Best Drink and Best Dish at the ECAC 2014 Raw Food Festival. What were those drinks and dishes? And what is the ECAC Raw Food Festival, by the way?
Well, that was a festival hosted at the ECAC Center.
Okay.
It's a community center right across from Benneker High School,
In
Howard
Washington,
University.
D.C.
Yeah, in D.C.
And across from Howard. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a festival there. We participated. I don't remember which drink.
What about the
to
dish?
be honest, I didn't
You're
know.
not sure. You don't remember.
I mean, we bring we bring so much food.
Tell us some of your most popular dishes and drinks.
Well, I definitely have to start with the hemp burger. You know, hemp as in the hemp seed, which
hemp as in hemp?
Yes, hemp as in hemp.
Okay.
So yeah, the hemp seed, no THC, but the hemp is one of the best sources of protein.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's a popular burger.
Yes, that's a popular burger.
And what else is popular?
Wow.
Like 2 or 3 things, like your drinks. What are popular drinks? You do
Yeah,
smoothies,
yeah,
right?
our coconut sea moss is very popular.
That sounds
We do what I
good.
call a mega milk, so it's like a coconut almond chocolate milk
Oh my
that we
gosh, I'm
make.
getting hungry.
All of our juices, which happen to all have coconut water in them.
Because that's the foundation of
That's
all
the
your
foundation.
juices.
That's the
Because,
foundation.
like
So
you said,
that's
that's the
what's
best thing to drink
right,
on
and that's
earth.
what separates our cleanse, the cleanse that we prepare at our restaurant, from everything else.
Okay. Okay. And Charles, you've been to his restaurant.
I have, and actually, the hemp burger is my favorite. So I every time I go there, I get a number of different things, but the hemp burger is always one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, Khepra is located, his raw food and juice bar is located on H Street in Northeast Washington, D.C., right, Khepra?
Yes.
So if anybody is in the Washington, D.C. area, make certain that you drop by to Khepra's Raw Food and Juice Bar. So, Khepra, tell us about your role in the 2014 documentary, The Healing Effect.
Wow. Yes. The producer of the film, Scott Perlman, from Boston, and so he had a number of people interviewed, and he had some local in Boston that people he was interviewing for his documentary, and was visiting DC, found my place, and
Fell in love.
right, enjoyed the food so much, wanted to include me in the documentary.
Okay.
So we did a number of and actually, if you go on my YouTube channel, and there's a title of the video, Going Raw. Basically, that's the complete footage
That he used.
Now,
Okay.
all of that footage in Going Raw is not in the film,
Okay.
but parts of it. So if you you'll see all of the footage that they filmed for that.
Give us the YouTube channel again.
YouTube.com/Khepra.
And Khepra, Khepra.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
and so actually our listeners can go there and see a lot of your videos. You have quite a few videos on your YouTube channel, a lot of subscribers.
Yes.
So, and it's growing because, like you said, everything's getting better. People are starting to be more aware, and also celebrities are promoting a vegan or vegetarian or raw food lifestyle just to be healthier.
And then also the juice cleanses. That's a huge part of our business.
What, the juice cleanses that you just mentioned, like when you use the coconut water in every.
Yes.
And so you were telling us you said the coconut and sea moss cleanse, or no, it's a smoothie.
That's a smoothie.
Okay, now wait a minute. Are your smoothies considered cleansers as well?
Well, you will cleanse if you're drinking smoothies. The way the body works is if it has to work really hard to break down your food, then there's not going to be. So, for example, the hardest thing to break down is protein.
Like a steak.
Right. So those are building foods.
Okay.
So if you're drinking juices and smoothies, even though if your smoothie has protein, your body is working a lot less. So then now that frees that energy up to detox.
Right.
So the less you drink, or the lighter you drink. So if you drink just water, then your body's going to detox even harder, versus even going just on the breath.
It's going to detox even more.
That's going to be the most aggressive detox is when you do a breath fast.
Breath?
No water, no juice.
Oh, okay.
So as you add water now, because now your body has to eliminate the water.
Yeah.
And then if you add coconut water, that's another level. And then you add fresh juices, that's another. And then the types of juices.
Fresh vegetables and fruit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How does this lifestyle affect your health overall? You said it helps to detox. What else does it do?
Well,
does it keep you young?
You almost you begin to understand living. in terms of just having your life, you're either...
You mean living your best life?
Well, living your best life,
What do you
but
mean?
I had a customer yesterday, and he's having some health challenges, and he's been doing the raw for the last week or so, and he's like, man, I just feel like...
So much better.
Right, and he just feel like he just has more... He's regained his life back.
Okay.
Because he was...
He wasn't doing well.
He wasn't doing well.
And the problem with that is that so many people have been fed pharmaceuticals which they think is making them better, and actually it's making them worse, when really the medicine is in the ground. It comes from the ground and from the trees and from the sky. And so I believe being a raw foodist, a vegan, a vegetarian, is a lifestyle that's opposite of what, the
Absolutely.
doctors and everything pushes on us. So we're going to have to wrap up, and I'm going to have you back on again. We're definitely going to be down at Khepra's Raw Food and Juice Bar very soon. Khepra, tell us again how our listeners can get in touch with you, watch your videos, call you. Where do they need to come to eat your delicious raw food?
Yeah, we're located at 408 8th Street, Northeast Washington, D.C. Phone number 202-803-2063.
And you're on all the social media,
I'm on
Facebook,
all the social media.
Instagram,
Chef
Twitter.
Khepra Anu, you'll find me.
ChefKhepra.com. That's Khepra,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Well, it's been wonderful, Khepra. I appreciate you being here. This has been Skin Deep with your host, Sharrarne Morton. Thank you for listening. You can hear this and all episodes on SiriusXM Channel 141, as well as on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and visit our website, skinsodeep.com, to order natural and organic products that stimulate your good health and wellness. Tune in again next week for conversations and tips on healing the mind, body, and soul.